This is Jen from the Everyday Farmhouse. Today I'm going to show you how to make a festive cranberry harvest pie. It can be great for Thanksgiving or for Christmas or just really any time of the year. It's a frozen pie, which is kind of different. You think of hot pies or warm pies for the holidays, but this is a great pie to make ahead of time, and then you can put it in your freezer. You don't have to worry about freeing up oven space on Thanksgiving, because that's always seems like a difficulty. You're trying to get everything done before the turkey goes in the oven. So this is something you can have done ahead of time, pull out with the cranberries. It's perfect, and it's a really tasty pie, and it's easy. What's going to make it special is that you're going to make the crust, and you're going to make the whipped cream from scratch, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And it's simple. It's not as hard as you think. I know some people are intimidated by whipping their own cream, and it's really not difficult. So I'm going to show you how to do that and give you a couple tips for that. So to start, we're going to make a graham cracker crust. Now you can buy these at the store. I'm not going to judge you if you do, but it is way better if you make it yourself, trust me. So the way I usually do it is just get my pie pan and preheat your oven. Your oven's going to go to 400 degrees. While your oven's preheating, just put your whole, it calls for 1 stick of butter. So for the crust, you need about 2 cups of crushed up graham crackers. I find that honey-made graham crackers are better than any generic ones we've ever tried, and I think we've tried them all. So you need 1 package of that, plus about 2 more graham crackers to make just what we think is about the perfect amount. Now to crush them up, you can put them in a bag and beat them with a rolling pin. I like to use like a little handy chopper or a food processor, and I already did that just to save on the noise. And my butter's already melted. So I just, to save on dishes, do it all in the same pan. So here's your pie pan, your butter's melted in that. You're gonna dump in your graham cracker crumbs that are all crushed up. And then it calls for 1/3 cup of sugar. Now I use this organic evaporated cane sugar, and the granules are a little bit bigger than, refined sugar that you would buy at the store. But I feel like it's a little bit healthier. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I use for this, for the crust. Just use what you have around, stir it up. You could use a fork or measuring spoon, whatever's handy. And you're just gonna stir this all around to the butter, and the sugar's all incorporated, and it all looks wet. And I do not have trouble with this sticking to the pan or anything like that, because there's so much butter in it. So once you've got that all nice and mixed around and got any pieces that have gone astray, then what I do is I just take a measuring cup and I just kind of press this down into the shape of a crust. Not have to be perfect. It tastes so good that it won't matter if it looks perfect. This is my husband's favorite pie crust. So you push it up the sides a little bit. Make it nice and thick. Thick crust is always tasty. Okay. I think that's good enough for now. And so after that, you would pop this in the oven at 400, and for the sake of time, I went ahead and I have one that I baked yesterday. My instructions say to bake for 5 to 8 minutes, and this one I let go too long. So I'll show you what not to do. It's not ruined. It'll still taste fine, but I know I set the timer for 6 minutes, and then I was preoccupied with something else and it got a little dark. But it's all ready to go here, so we can put our filling in it. So once your crust is done, or while it's cooking, the next thing that you can do is whip your cream. And I'm going to show you how to do this with a stand mixer. And the secret to making good whipped cream is to chill your bowl and the beater. So I'm going to get mine out of the freezer here. actually just stuck this in there last night. You really only need about 15 minutes or so to chill it and lock that in. Now I'm doing, this recipe calls for 1 cup of heavy cream. Looks like some straight freezer. Who knows what's in there. You can buy cream at the store, just it comes in a little pint or quart container of heavy whipping cream. We have raw milk, so I don't know if you can see in the video the cream line on this milk. It's super creamy. Here's the line right here. So this top portion is cream and the bottom is the rest of the milk. And so I need a cup of this. So I'm just gonna reach in here and skim off a cup of this cream. And put it right in my chilled. It's best to use cold cream, so cream that hasn't been sitting out at room temperature or anything. I just got this out of the fridge a minute ago. And then I like to use powdered sugar when I'm making whipped cream rather than, because I told you I use this organic evaporated sugar and the granules are a little bit bigger. I think it makes a smoother whipped cream if you use powdered sugar, and this is organic powdered sugar as well, and it calls for a third, wrong, it calls for a half a cup of sugar, or quarter cup of sugar, sorry. This is something I bought at the bulk store near us, and for whatever reason it's kind of lumpy, so I try to kind of break up some of those lumps with a whisk. So you're going to do this on fairly high speed, and I'll try to show you, I don't know how well we can see this with the camera, but I'll tilt the bowl and show you what it looks like once it starts to change. So you saw what it looked like before. It's fairly thick, but you just want to watch for stiff peaks to form. My recipe also calls for vanilla. I made some yesterday with vanilla. I prefer it without, so I'm going to do this batch without the vanilla, and this should take about 3 minutes. Okay, I really want you to be able to see what this looks like when it's coming together, so I got the camera and I'm bringing it over here so you can see what this looks like as it's whipping and how it changes. See that it's getting thicker. You just don't want to let it go too long. It'll turn to butter if you do. I've had that happen when I was first starting. I'm going to slow it down a bit so I can see a little better. I hope you can see that change there, what it's starting to look like. It's starting to look like whipped cream rather than just a runny cream. Stop it and test it. What you're waiting for are stiff peaks to form is how it's described. So let me lower my bowl so I can get the hook off. Okay, so what you do is you lift it up, and is Is it forming a peak? Well, it is. It could probably go just a bit longer. But this is looking really good. We'll let it go for another, that was about 1 minute and 30 seconds, I think. So this is coming together faster than the one I did yesterday. Check it again. All right, this time definitely looks good and thick. Okay, so now we have our cream done. Put all this to the side. And the next part is really pretty easy. I'm gonna put my beater back on. And you're gonna add 1 package, which is 8 ounces of cream cheese. This has been sitting out at room temperature, so it's a bit soft. We already did, and then the only other thing we did our crust, and the sugar and my ingredients went to the cream, and so now we just need a 16-ounce can of cranberry sauce, and it calls for whole cranberry sauce so that it has the lumps of cranberries. I didn't buy that. So, and it turns out fine without it. It's a little bit prettier if you want to garnish the top. I actually just bought some whole cranberries that I can garnish the top with, but I'm gonna go ahead and set aside a little bit. It says to set aside about 2 tablespoons for garnishing the top, so I'm just gonna kind of guess here. And this is a 1/4 cup measuring cup. So all of this goes in. If you had the whole cranberry sauce, you would probably want to just fold that in at the end so you don't smush your cranberries, but since I didn't have that, I'm just putting it all in together. Now you're gonna give this a good mix. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's not gonna be completely smooth, and that's fine. I'm gonna get my already made pie crust. I'm gonna give this another good little stir, fold everything in together. You could also, if you want this to be smoother, one thing you could do is to whip up the cream cheese first to kind of make it a little bit smoother before you mix it in with the whipped cream. I do not like dirtying up dishes, so I save on that as much as I can. So I just do it all together in one, and I think it pleases us just fine. But if you're a perfectionist more than me and you would like it smoother, then beat your cream cheese first and then combine it with the rest of the ingredients. So that's it. That's all there is to this pie. And you're going to put that in your crust. And you're going to pop this in the freezer. And like I said, you could do this up to a week ahead of time. The graham cracker crust freezes well. I know some people make up graham cracker crusts and just freeze them by themselves. If I had an offset spatula handy, I would probably use that to kind of really smooth out the top and make it pretty. Now, if you're going to freeze this for any length of time, it might be good to slide this, if your pie pan will fit, into a gallon freezer bag. It might be good to do that just to keep it from getting freezer burnt or from it absorbing any of the odors from the freezer. And so then when you're ready to serve it, you might whip up your cranberry topping a bit and sprinkle some fresh cranberries on there to make it really pretty, but that's it. That's all there is to this pie. Make it ahead of time, and then you've got a dessert that's ready to go for Thanksgiving that you don't have to worry about putting in the oven. So thanks for stopping by the farmhouse today. I hope this was helpful to show you that you can make a pie crust really simply, and that you can whip your own whipped cream, and it's really not difficult, and it comes together really fast. Actually, I know I was always intimidated by that, so I hope that helps somebody who maybe would rather buy Cool Whip because it's just simpler, and it is, but it's really kind of nasty stuff. stuff, and I'm not preaching, but it really does have some nasty ingredients in it. So this is a way to, while it still is sweet, it's a little, make it a little bit healthier. So thanks again for viewing, and I hope you have a great